This the book of Second Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou well understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone rule, who have been a great example to his young brothers in the truth. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Lord, when this edifying lesson, it's another lesson going into measure out the time diligently, so like it. Because contrary to popular belief, we at the end times. And this place is getting ready to be destroyed, and the Lord is getting ready to make his second coming, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So you never want to go viral when you're in the White House, particularly if you're someone very few people know, someone named Brian Deese, who's the economic advisor in the White House. Well, he went viral. Watch.
They say that this could be a long war measured in years, and I think everybody understands why this is happening, but is it sustainable? What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
So you're paying more in gas because it's the future of the liberal world order.
Inflation is higher in almost every other country. Prices of the pump are higher in almost every other country. We're better positioned to deal with this than anyone, but we have a way to go. Ultimately, the reason why gas prices are up is because of Russia. Russia.
How long is it fair to expect American drivers?
Yeah, and they making Russia the new boogeyman. I forgot what they said. You don't have three world wars or something like that. This something the elite say. World War I, World War II, and then the war against terrorism. You know, and they gotta make somebody the bad guy. But World War III is coming quickly, man. They just saying that it's gonna be a multi-year war. Go well longer than 1 year or 2 years. It's gonna be an ongoing thing, so to speak.
And drivers around the world to pay that premium?
And this war has nothing to do with America, but guess what? You're gonna pay the cost, so to speak, you know. And Russia, they not paying more in gas, but America is. The Russians, they good. Why? Because they produce gas, they produce fertilizer, they produce the thing that they people need to where they really ain't gotta be too dependent upon other nations. And China also is on their side. So Russia and China, they gonna be good through what's going on. But over here in Babylon the Great, which is America, you have they stopping the production of the drilling for oil and things that's gonna affect this economy, you know. And that's a dumb move. Why? Because the Lord allowing them to do that. The Lord is in control of these people, to destroy this wicked kingdom, you know.
This war.
As long as it takes, so Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine. This is a critical position for the world.
Your Excellency, are you ready for a new world order?
I think, Becky, the main problem is if you think.
Like this the precept I was looking for this. Let me pull the whole chapter. This second Exodus chapter 16 and verse um I get 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when those evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendments, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And that's going to the nation of Israel. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap. Victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish from famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And that's what's getting ready to come. A whole bunch of great confusion is growing upon the earth, evils and more evils. And also World War III is brewing. Let's get that. Let me get that real quick. Mosquito eating my up. Salaki. This Revelation chapter, straight to the point. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. To say the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Yeah, because there will be another world war, and America's gonna get involved. Iran gonna get involved. China gonna get involved. All these top, France and Germany and Japan, all these top nations of the world are gonna get involved, man. You know. Um. Yeah, all these nations, all these places are gonna get involved in this war. But that's pretty much the point on it. And what the scriptures say, the least of the flock gonna draw them out. And that's going into Israel. It's gonna do something and make everybody get, and gonna start World War III officially. They gonna do something, you know. They gonna bomb the wrong person. They gonna do something, and America gonna have to get into it to protect them, and Russia gonna have to get into it to protect Iran. That's what we, thinking that Israel gonna do something to Iran. And Russia gonna come to the aid of Iran, and America gonna go to the aid of Israel. And all these um allied nations of America are gonna turn and they're gonna fight against Babylon.
Of the technology. The technology is 21st century, 22nd century technology. What is happening in AI, what is happening everywhere, really.
It appears that increasingly the American people do not approve of what this White House is doing.
But these are uncertain times, and when prices are high, people are understandably frustrated.
This is a really big deal, but I'm just so tired of hearing you people talking about where is the pride in America. We just had a full month. We just had a full month of pride, you guys. Oh, wait, that wasn't about being an American. That was about sexual orientation. You could do that for a month. You better do that for a month. Your company better send emails on that for a month. But if you talk about patriotism,
Yeah, and that's why the Lord say, He gonna destroy this sinful kingdom off the face of the earth. That's why the Lord say He gonna destroy this sinful kingdom off the face of the earth. But let me get this, going into the pride of these people, because you Babylonians, you Americans are the most proud. Like, this Jeremiah 50 and verse 31. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. O thou most proud, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. For the day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Yeah, the Lord is against these people, man. These Americans, the mindset of American, that patriot mind. The Lord is against all that, man, because these people are more proud. That patriot mindset. These people more proud than any Edomite on the face of the earth here in Babylon. You know, these some proud ass devils, man, here in America, man. But you know, the Lord is against these devils, man. And that's about both sides. You got the patriots and the liberals. They all proud as hell, man. You know, not just the patriots, all the Edomites, you Americans in general, even our people, 2/3 our people who are Americans, proud as shit. You know, the Lord say He hate a poor man that's proud, and these fucking Americans poor and proud. You know.
So old school, old fashioned. What a scary fast trip from America first to America last.
We have, and also remind the American people that even as we go through this challenging period, even as we move through this transition, we also have made historic economic progress.
Because it's one of the biggest like reveals in history, in political history. They're saying, yeah, you know what? The greater good mean the greater global good means your suffering doesn't matter. Woke to
Salakia, let me keep going in that Jeremiah 50 and verse 31, I think. I think I gotta go down. So Jeremiah 50 and verse 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken down? How is Babylon become a desolation among nations? This verse 24 say, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, because the Lord finna fuck you people up, man. Salakia. That's pretty much the point.
destroys the internal organs of a country. Everybody's fighting each other. Then you have the New World Order, which is the external breakdown. We're fighting a war.
Made historic economic progress.
Because it's one of the biggest like reveals in history, in political history. They're saying, yeah, you know what? The greater good mean the greater global good means your suffering doesn't matter. Woke destroys the internal organs of a country. Everybody's fighting each other. Then you have the New World Order, which is the
He say everybody fighting each other. If I could get this second phone to quit tripping. Because the Lord is doing this, you know. Through his left hand, through the physical, you know, through his sword. Oh my goodness. It's lucky. I'm getting attacked. Mosquito trying to carry me away. Come on, man. This is Isaiah chapter 19 in verse 2. It reads, And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. But the Egyptians, because America is their spiritual Sodom and Egypt, so you Americans are the modern day Egyptians, and you are being set one against another, and you fighting each other. And it's gonna become very physical very soon, Lord willing, man.
external breakdown. We're fighting a war thousands of miles away, right? And that trumps our gas prices. We're willing to accept perhaps world famine even and our own local misery for a war that won't end because both sides, according to both sides, are winning, and we're fueling this war at billions and billions of dollars, and there is a price for everything, including war.
My mentor on issues of world order is Henry Kissinger, so I'll try to channel him, and forgive me, Dr. Kissinger. But his answer would be, what do you mean no new world order? We have not had a world order yet. What we've had is...
And we have had a world order, Edomite world order. So-called white man ruled the world. But he was going into fighting a war thousands of miles away. Let me get this. No, that's not what I want. The whole chapter, go back. Habakkuk chapter 2, and straight to the point. Verse 5, it say, yeah, because he is a proud man. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Yeah, because Esau, Edom stormed with the international bankers, because their home is Mount Seir, but they run the world through Babylon the Great, and they're through with this whore. You know, they used it, abused it, and they through with it. You know, now they on to the next step, the NWO, the New World Order. You know, but let's go to Job real quick, because they said there's never been a new. No, the first world order you Edomites ruling the earth. That is the world order, because the earth was given into your hands, so you rule over the earth. You know. This is the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. It reads, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where, then who is he? In the first world order, this world order, whatever world orders that have been since this guy been in power, nigga, you is the world order. You the one ruling the earth, you know? And that's where the confusion come in. They try to make like, oh, it's America, oh, Russia up next, and China. No, all these country governments are puppets. That's why one of the sayings of the elite is, give me control of a nation's wealth or money, and I care not who makes the laws. You know? Because they controlling everything. The international bankers is the world order. They the ones causing everything to happen.
We've had a Western order that was imposed on the world. And so the first world order in modern times, or somewhat modern times, was 4 centuries ago with the Treaty of Westphalia. If you look at what we're trying to create right now, we're, I would say, at an inflection point in history as important as the end of World War I, where we got the effort at world order tragically wrong. We ended up with millions of dead, the Holocaust in World War II. After World War II, we got it more right than wrong with the creation of the International Liberal Order and the United Nations. And
what it said, I forgot the precept. I think it's in Revelation. Revelation chapter 9. Well, roughly paraphrase, say that's the first world war, and there come 2 more wars hereafter. You know, he just mentioned World War I, World War II, and they gonna get it right. World War III. You know, this 4th industrial revolution, they gonna get shit right. They gonna have their shit together on this one, and they think that their hands are gonna perform the enterprise, but they're gonna be sadly mistaken.
But China grew. China certainly took full advantage of being part of the global system. Russia did not. Russia became more of an outlier. And I think where we are now, and this gets to your question, Becky, of a new world order, is it can go in 2 directions, with the war in Ukraine now being a decisive element.
World leaders have stepped up their attacks on China and Russia.
NATO has for the first time in its history labelled China a security threat, and its partnership with Russia an attempt to undermine world order.
We've seen a failure of China to condemn any of the Russian aggression that has occurred against Ukraine.
And China is one of them nations where the Lord say, "Let the weak say I am strong." Another one, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Beat your agricultural equipment. Use that for military. And your don't worry about farming and all that. Prepare your military. Build your economy up militarily, so to speak. Build your country up militarily, so to speak.
Their main concern is that China and Russia are moving too close together and undermining Western values. NATO, for the first time in its history...
So those countries, they values don't matter, but the Western values matter, but everybody else values don't matter. But you the one, you pushing buttons on that side of the earth. America over there in the Western country, y'all messing with them people, man. Why y'all trying to bring Ukraine into, why y'all trying to bring the opposition of Russia into the NATO? Why y'all over there fucking with Taiwan? Why would y'all allow nasty Nancy to fly over there to Ukraine? I mean Taiwan. Why would you even allow that? Because they want war, man. When your economy is crashing, when the dollar is crashing, when you're in debt, the best way to resolve that debt and get up out of it is war, man.
It sees China as a growing threat. The People's Republic of China's malicious, hybrid and cyber operations target allies and harm alliance security, and warns the deepening strategic partnership between the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation attempts to undercut the rules-based international order. It's a major shift in focus.
Tensions between the United States and China are now rising.
President Biden declaring on the world stage that the U.S. would defend Taiwan if China were to invade.
Hello, China's defense minister has issued a stark warning.
Yeah, in America, all these people, they will defend and all this shit. America gonna be stretched out too thin. I don't give a damn how powerful your military is. Once you get stretched out too thin and you fighting 5, 6 different armies, different countries, 7 different countries, your ass finna get wore out, man. And then America ain't the biggest country in the world. It's only what you got. Russia, China is a big people strong, and America only just that alone. China have a draft 500, a half of a half a billion man draft, at least 200 billion people. I mean million people. Shit, that's down there more people in America altogether, man. Don't forget North Korea, South North Korea, Iran. Don't forget the rest of these countries, man. Russia.
Foreign interference in Taiwan is, quote, doomed to fail.
China's defense minister, Wei Fenghe, has warned that any attempt to bring about Taiwan's independence will trigger a fight to the end.
After a Chinese fighter jet aggressively targeted an Australian surveillance aircraft over the deeply contested South China Sea.
A chilling confrontation in the skies over the disputed South China Sea.
Accusing Canadian pilots of provocation and warning of dire consequences. China is defiant in the face of criticism over its increasingly aggressive and dangerous tactics targeting Five Eyes planes in international airspace.
China's actions are irresponsible and provocative.
1/3 of the world's shipping carrying $6 trillion worth of goods passes through the South China Sea each year, a waterway where Beijing has illegally occupied and militarized a series of small islands.
This is a body of water which is deeply connected to Australia because of our trade which goes through there.
And this isn't a case of a single pilot hot-dogging. Sources say there have been approximately 60 intercepts since Christmas, and nearly half of those have been dangerous.
Over the South China Sea, when it was intercepted by a Chinese J-16 jet fighter, which drew very close alongside and released flares. The warplane then accelerated, cut in front of the RAF jet and deployed a cloud of aluminium strips known as chaff, some of which entered the Australian plane's engines.
China says the island's reunification with the mainland is inevitable.
We will resolutely crush any attempt to pursue Taiwanese independence.
There go another bad guy. Australia, China, hey, ain't nothing but smoke in the air, man. When it comes to this world war, the Lord just stirring the pot. World War III will happen, man.
Let me make this clear. If anyone dares to secede Taiwan from China, we will not hesitate to fight. We will fight at all costs, and we will fight to the end. This is the only choice for China.
But today, Biden was clear the U.S. would be involved militarily. It's a step he's been unwilling to take to protect Ukraine against Russia, but something he now says he would do to protect Taiwan against China.
We'll dislocate the entire region and be another action similar to what happened in Ukraine. And so it's a burden that is even stronger.
In the room, Biden's advisors appeared shocked. The White House quickly insisting there is no change in policy, while trying not to contradict the president.
It's very, very clear that from America's perspective, China is now the biggest competitor on all fronts. And as a result of that, what America is doing now is building alliances across the world.
And in 2022, we all know we're living in a vortex of crises, whether it's a pandemic that has killed some 18 million people worldwide, the largest war in Europe since World War II, the challenge to supply lines that has disrupted everything from computer chips to baby food, the highest rate of inflation, in decades, and of course that existential crisis called climate change. So we're living not just in a perfect storm, but kind of in a pluperfect superstorm. So my 5 headlines. The first is that globalization.
And that's what Esau want. Esau want all these things going on. He wants shortage of baby food. He want all these things going on to cause that chaos, order out of chaos, And the Lord want these things to go on because the scripture spoke about famine. Scripture spoke about woe unto them that give sup in those times, and we know they was talking about in the siege. But hey, pray that your flight be not in the winter. And woe unto them that give sup in those days. You can't even, you still can't find baby formula to this day. It's hard to get it. But that shouldn't be a problem to majority of women on the earth because you should be breastfeeding anyway, man. Oh, that hurt. I ain't got, nah, you just selfish and you don't think about nothing but yourself. I don't want my titties sagging. Okay, well, your baby gonna starve to death, man.
Is unraveling. It is changing the kind of interdependence we have experienced around the world. And just to give you an example, Russian shit makes a difference to Brazil's economy. That Brazil is one of the largest exporters of agricultural products in the world, the largest amount of soybeans. But it depends for fertilizer on manure from Russia. So what happens, we all know.
Okay, so why would you put all that? And they trying to, make Russia the bad guy, but y'all put sanctions on Russia because what they did. All Russia's doing is, look, y'all ain't gonna be able to, they should have just stayed, Ukraine should have just stayed neutral. Y'all can't join my enemies because then if y'all become an ally, y'all right on my border and your missiles and everything as well, man. My top enemy missiles and all that is right on my border. I can't allow y'all to do that, man. But who put the sanctions on Russia? America. What Russia say? Y'all gonna have to pay for this shit in rubles, man. You know, you're gonna have to, if you want fertilizer, you want oil, you want gas and all that, guess what? You finna pay for it in my currency. You know, it's a must that you pay for it in my currency. Y'all wanna cut me off from the Western bank system? Then guess what? We gon' we finna we know everybody depending on our fertilizer and different things of that nature. So okay, we finna capitalize on it. Y'all wanna play dirty? We gonna play dirty back, man. And that's what Russia did. They just made a smart move.
About grain, we've all read about how the supply lines, 30 or 40%, I think, of grain comes from Ukraine and Russia. This affects particularly the Middle East. So the kind of fabric, the assumptions we all made about the global interdependence of countries, of continents, has begun to unravel, and we're beginning to see what I call a kind of regionalization and rule-less system of smuggling and trade to try to accommodate. Globalization was never properly ruled. It kind of evolved with its own steam, who made what connections, what was profitable, and now we're finding the consequences. I think globalization is still, the trend of the 21st century, but we're going to have to go about it with more rules, more of a sense of what the order really is. And the problem is that those countries that are in the middle of democracy or autocracy, kind of stuck in the middle, are tilting ever more toward autocracies. And when you look at the issue of leadership.
So like it, let me see what autocracy is. I don't know how to spell it, so give me a second. Maybe I can. Autocracy. What she said? Let me go back. These I think they slick, man. These devils, man. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices, and if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. We not deceived by these fucking devils, man. Like,
of countries, of continents, has begun to unravel, and we're beginning to see what I call a kind of regionalization and a rule-less system of smuggling and trade to try to accommodate. Globalization was never properly ruled. It kind of evolved with its own steam, who made what connections, what was profitable, and now we're finding the consequences. I think globalization is still, the trend of the 21st century, but we're going to have to go about it with more rules, more of a sense of what the order really is. And the problem is that those countries that are in the middle of democracy or autocracy, kind of stuck in the middle, are tilting ever more toward autocracies. And when you look at the issue,
those countries that are stuck in the middle of democracy and whatever she said are leaning towards autocracy. Autocracy, this is a simple Google definition. Autocracy, a system of government by, so like, let me do something real quick. So like it, a system of government by one person with absolute power. That one world order, one world government. A country, state, or society governed by one person with absolute power, domineering, rule, or control. So autocracy, totalitarian. These similar words to autocracy. Totalitarianism, dictatorship, tyranny, mon- monocracy, I think autocracy again. And opposite of autocracy is democracy. You know? So they finna do away with, democracy. Basically. Say everybody else leaning towards autocracy. Everybody else in the world leaning towards autocracy. Dictatorship, totalitarianism. And that's what the fourth industrial revolution, hummingbird just flew in front of me. That's what the fourth industrial revolution, the NWO, New World Order, is all about, man.
Leadership of who's giving the leadership to kind of push us in the right direction. Joe Biden's numbers are sinking, Boris Johnson's numbers are tanking, Macron no longer has a majority government, Italy is in a state of uncertainty and divided over what to do about Ukraine.
And these are Western, everybody she's naming, these are Western, the Western European, the end of NATO and the EU. They divided. So they gonna, we know Esau playing. We know this man plots and scheme. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So they're gonna lean towards. They're gonna lean towards Salaki. They're gonna lean towards autocracy and be like, well, we're just gonna create a one world order, one world governing, and we all just gonna be out. We gonna come to agreements as that. one world governed, the new world order. This is the new world order. Everybody is one digital currency, one religion, one bank, one government. Everything is one. One, what it is, Internet of Things.
And Germany's facing a severe economic and energy recession, which in some ways we're all going to be facing. I don't like paying for $6 gas either. So my fourth trend is that we're facing a new nuclear age. We kind of all thought with the end of World War II, yes, there was an arms race, and yes, there was development and proliferation of the nuclear weapon. But we're entering a new age, and on this, Bill and I profoundly disagree, so be forewarned. But North Korea is on the verge of a new nuclear test, which will be the first in 5 years. Iran is now 8.5 days away from being able to enrich enough uranium to fuel a bomb. Now don't worry, it takes 2 other very complicated steps to actually make a bomb, and Iran has not made the political decision. But the fact is we could be in for a wave of proliferation. The Iran nuclear deal is in profound trouble. There's a last-ditch attempt to save it, but the challenge today is also not just from the Hiroshima and Nagasaki type bombs. The real challenge, which most Americans don't fully understand, is from the smaller scale tactical nuclear weapon that has a range of 300 miles, 500 clicks, because we don't have any country near us that has a tactical nuclear weapon. But Russia has specialized in them. At the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis, we had an 8-to-1 advantage in nuclear weapons over the Soviet Union. Today, Russia has a 10-to-1 advantage over us when it comes to nukes.
And not only a 10-to-1, but they also have hypersonic missiles, man. America does not possess the propulsion systems that Russia possesses. America don't have nukes that travel at the speed of sound, Mach speeds. America just have intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. Russia has hypersonic missiles Russia has hypersonic intercontinental ballistic missiles, and China have them as well.
So I think it's something that we have to actually think about and be conscious of. That, and there's been a lot of talk about will Putin, use a tactical nuclear weapon, which you don't have to use on the ground. You can use in the air to disrupt communications. You can use it even.
Right, and you use them in the air. Guess what? It's basically like an EMP. Gonna fuck the weather up. It's gonna throw throw the electrical grid off, you know, and that'll cause mass chaos and mass casualties as well, man. You know.
Fire in the atmosphere to disrupt satellite communications, which control, our cell phones, all the things we use. So.
And I think where we are now, and this gets to your question, Becky, of a new world order, is it can go in two directions with the war in Ukraine now being a decisive element. Either the jungle is back, as the historian Bob Kagan talks, and that we can go into a darker era, or we could go into an era, because of the advances of science, advances of technology, that could be one of the most prosperous, promising, progressive, enlightened, moderate, modern eras that we've ever faced. And I think we're in a moment where that's being decided.
I wrote a piece in late October saying we're already in World War III. We are already in conflict that extends so far beyond Ukraine, actually, even within the context of Western Europe. But we've clearly been pretty much at war in space, below the surface of the oceans, submarine warfare between superpowers. I would even say that this has been happening for at least 4 years, and it's spilled over into public view on the ground. But we don't frame it that way. Also, this idea that it's one kind of political organization system versus another, but really it looks to me like old-fashioned superpower conflicts, where I'm very optimistic, and I agree with you about how to frame the future. What I see as someone involved in technology, someone involved with entrepreneurs and advising governments, I see a future where we genuinely have ubiquity and not scarcity. I see.
What is ubiquity? I don't know how to spell that. Ubiquity. I think they said ubiquity. It say the fact of appearing everywhere or of being very common. You know.
Versus another, but really it looks to me like old-fashioned superpower conflicts, where I'm very optimistic, and
all the world wars, all these things, what the elite causing these things to happen, going to the international bankers. It wasn't none of these presidents or dictators or whatever doing what they wanted to do. No, they were told to do what they did through the elites, man. Every time, every war.
I agree with you about how to frame the future. What I see as someone involved in technology, someone involved with entrepreneurs and advising governments, I see a future where we genuinely have ubiquity and not scarcity.
Yeah, genuinely have ubiquity and not scarcity. That's gonna be the universal basic income. Eat crickets. The fact of appearing everywhere or being very common. And that's what they want in the new world. They want to know everything, man. They want to put a limit on things people buy. So you put a motherfucker can't just buy 10 cases of water, and then leave 5 people to only have not be able to find, however. But let's keep playing.
I see a future where the internet is available for free for everyone in
Yeah,
the
the Internet of Things. You're gonna be tied to that. Your chip. Everything is gonna be connected with it. You know, you can be in a third world country and you be connected to the internet. But the thing is, it's gonna be highly censored. The only thing gonna be on there is what they want you to see, and what they the agenda they pushing on the people. That's what it's gonna be.
most remote locations on the planet, for example. And that means the location of power is going to shift. And I see, as a person in financial markets, decentralization of power structures everywhere, in finance, in political power. And in fact, this conflict that we're in right now may be the beginning of that shift.
Yeah, and it's gonna shift to what? One world order. Everybody gonna be a one governance, one religion, one mind. You know, as they tried to do in the tower during the Tower of Babel with Nimrod, and then they also tried what's this nigga name? Damn, I forgot his name. Antiochus. He also did it during the Greek Empire. It's not a new thing. One world order. But that's pretty much the point. Lord willing, this will edify, and I want to end it giving all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone rule, web, and great example to his younger brothers in the truth. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. But with that, Shalom, Kwam Yashala, and the Bible.